One of the things that we see a lot in the martial arts world today, especially in grappling arts, is somebody will come up with a new move and slap their name on it, or somebody will slap the person's name on it who popularized it, whatever. Now, here's the thing: 9 times out of 10, that move was not newly invented. That was an old move that has just simply been rediscovered. And the fact is that though human movement can be seen as somewhat maybe fractalized in the sense that it's kind of infinite within finite bounds, because the big broad strokes and the big concepts, the way that the joint locks and attacks and throws and stuff work, you're not inventing anything. And the fact is that almost everything that we see, somebody somewhere has done, and it may be part of a style or a school that is not particularly popular, not particularly widespread, and so it might not be well known. But the fact is that when people discover a new move, they need to be careful about claiming invention. And that's really the crux of the matter here. A great example, the Kimura arm lock. Kimura didn't invent it. It's in judo was gyaku uregarame, something like that. It's a reverse bent arm lock, and that's literally the translation: reverse bent arm lock. And catch wrestling, we call it a double wrist lock. And both of those predate Kimura's popularization of it in defeating the Gracies. So the fact is that we often just throw this praise and these accolades at people for doing something when it's something that's been around and been used for a long time. And so when we look at this, what we need to distinguish is the fact that while you're probably not inventing anything, it is entirely, and this is critical, it is entirely possible for you to independently discover something for yourself without going to somebody else's source material. In fact, see, on the other side of this argument, I see a lot of traditional folks griping at the modern combat sports world, going, you claim you invented it, and you didn't invent that. If you look deeper in the old material, the old sources, the old writings, whatever, you'll see that they were already doing that. Yeah, but those styles have fallen out of popularity to the point where there are not enough people studying those old ways for it to be common knowledge that way. And so we tend to end up with a lot of reinventing the wheel, per se. And really what that is people are left to discover it again themselves. And of course, then the argument that we hear is, well, if you just went and studied that style, well, one, if they didn't know that move was part of that style, how would they possibly know to go look for it? Two, maybe a teacher, a good quality teacher of that style, is not available where they live. Most people are probably not willing to uproot their lives to go study another style. Most people are not willing to quit their practice to go study the style that has the move or the tactic they're looking for. There are all of these things as barriers for anybody to just go and learn everything. So there is going to be a ton of independent discovery of things that already exist. And that's perfectly fine. I have absolutely no problem with anybody discovering a move, a tactic for themselves. Every single one of the moves we do was discovered at some point by somebody just tinkering around and go, oh, I get good results with this. Therefore, it becomes part of my toolbox. That's just how all this stuff works. It's all made up. And at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're not claiming some kind of genius or invention for coming up with something. We have to be honest. We have to be transparent. Look, I figured this out for myself, and then, hey, 6 months later, somebody, I showed this off, and somebody said, oh yeah, it was this move, and you go, oh, cool, right? to avoid having egg on your face, to avoid eating humble pie, however you want to say it, don't take the ego-driven stance of, look what I created, and more just come up with, oh, hey, I figured out how to do this thing. And if somebody says, hey, that already existed, be like, oh, cool. Glad to know that I came up with something that works, right? Taking a less ego-driven perspective of it, one, is going to earn you better graces in the broader community, and two, you will not be humbled when somebody shows you, it won't be such a strike when somebody shows you, oh yeah, hey, they were already doing that in Japanese jiu-jitsu 300 years ago or whatever. So just be careful when you say things, and when you make an independent discovery, please just don't assume that you invented anything. You discovered it for yourself, and I really, really urge you to be clear, honest, and transparent about those things. You don't have to say, oh, this is a judo move that I learned if you didn't learn it from judo. You can just say, hey, I learned this move, and they also happen to do it in judo once you find that out, and that's great. And just, or whatever the style, you know what I'm saying. So I've rambled on long enough. I will talk to you guys later. Good journey. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, give the dog a bone. You can follow us on our other social media accounts, and if you really like us, you can head over to Amazon and buy a shirt. You can also go over to Gumroad and purchase some of our instructional courses. All of the links will be provided and also on our website. If you happen to be in the Phoenix area, we would love to meet you. Come drop in for a class, even just to chat. And if you're looking for a new home, we would be happy to have you. So until next time, good journey.